Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. So I am back now with a different stack of journals, or some of them are the same journals, to show you what I'll be taking with me into 2024 and just the journals that I'll be using to, I guess start off 2024, because I always start off with like a good handful of them, and then throughout the year I just add on more journals throughout the year because that's just how I do. And so I guess let's move this one out of the way because you've seen this one. You heard me talk about it in the previous video, but this is the Daphne's Diary 2023 planner that I was going to use as sort of like my little memory planner, like a little scrapbook for 2023. And I only ended up doing January and February, and like March and April, they have photos and stuff in them. It's just I never went in to document those weeks. And so I am going to be taking this with me into 2024 because I really would love to just make these layouts and make these spreads. And I have quite a few weeks to go back and do that. And so I have a folder on my desktop that has like all the pictures. So I think I only have pictures up until July, like through July, August, and on. Oh, I do have some. I have some for August and September. So I did print out some, but for the most part, I did not print out, I guess, extra, like a double of some of my images that I included in my little A6 journals, because usually that's where I kind of put all the documenting when I do those little journals, and I got back into doing them kind of like in April-ish. But yeah, I have a whole folder on my computer filled with the photographs that I need to get printed. So I just need to take some time and sift through them and collage them onto 4x6 like sized images, and then send them to free prints so that I can get them all printed and I have them all ready to just dive into this memory planner and just scrapbook those pages. Like some of them in the beginning, I do have like all the ephemera and the pictures and stuff like that, and so I can just go in and start building out those spreads. And so that's something I really want to do. I would really hate for just to leave this blank the way that it is. I kind of want to go back in and just fill up the pages. Like this has stuff in it. It's just there's no journaling, and I think the same with this spread here. But yeah, I kind of want to just go back in and, I have that journal that I kept all year that has like little snippets of what I did each day. And so I can refer back to that to kind of flesh out these pages. And then I really just want to use some of my supplies that I've hanging around. Like I eventually want to do like a massive de-stash of all like scrapbooking things, but I have like loose puffy stickers and chipboard and things like that. And usually the bowls of puffy stickers is what I go into when creating these pages, because then I can just put them in to, these sorts of things, put them in to my spreads here. And so I would love to use more of those supplies instead of just, giving them away. I kind of want to use them because I bought them and they're so pretty, and I just haven't used them because they're so pretty. And this is a good project to do that. And so I am planning to complete this. Hopefully the beginning half of 2024, I can just sit down and just work in here once I have all my pictures printed. So this is why I have this included as a journal that I'll be keeping in 2024. I'm basically going to be just doing all of this that I should have done in 2023, but in 2024 for 2023, basically. So that's why it's here. But that's my long spiel about that. So the other two that look familiar to you are these two right here. This, of course, is my unraveling journal. And like I said in the previous video, I only filled up like not even half of one signature. And so I still have like the rest of this, and I still have this whole signature back here. And my word for 2023 was heart. So I have kind heart here, but heart was my word. And I don't feel like I'm finished with it. There's a lot of different things that have happened recently that make me feel that I need to go into 2024 with the same word and sort of the same kind of intentions. I still haven't really sat down and like worked through what my new, like my year intentions are going to be. I still have to do all of that, but I have a feeling that a lot of this is going to come in with me into 2024. Like I feel like I always try to pick like a new word or new guiding phrase for every new year, but for some reason my heart is telling me to stay with heart, if that makes sense. You know how just a word feels right? I don't feel like I gave this word enough time this year in 2023. I feel like it needs more. Like I need to be with it more. I hope that makes sense. Um, but yeah, so I like this whole, my goal, I guess, at the end is just to have this whole journal just to be about my exploration with the word heart and how that relates to me and my unfurling process and all the things. Like I really want to dig deeper into this word and how it relates to my life in this current season that I'm in. And I just feel like continuing to do like the same thing and exploring the same thing, but on a deeper scale. And I'm just gonna do it in this journal and just keep at it. Like my unraveling journal from 2019 went into 2020 as well. Like it's like both years. 2020 was an odd year in that I kind of stopped halfway through for reasons, obviously. But yeah, I don't want to stop halfway through this one. I really want to continue this on to 2024. And like, I'm already looking at it, and there's just places where I didn't even get to do journaling. Like, I didn't go back and do the journaling for this year. And I'm okay with that. I think next year I can go back and fill out those pages. I talk about this in my unfurling class when I show more of this process of keeping this sort of journal. But I talk about a thing that I learned from Liz Lamoureux and taking her courses. Like she treats her journals as like living things that grow with you. And so it's okay if you have, let's go back to that blank page that I had back here somewhere. It's okay to have this blank page. Like I know I left this blank to do some sort of journaling. I don't know what that journaling is. I don't know what I wanted to write there, but it's blank, right? And I don't know, we all have like a fear of the blank page. Like I have this blank, and I know here I was going to write about ways that I stay grounded, because that's what this prompt was about. And I just didn't get to do that, right? Well, the way that Liz treats her journals and believes in how like your journals grow with you is that it's okay to have these blank. You can always come back later and add the journaling to those spaces. And so I'm trying to keep that mindset, because I'm the type of person who likes to keep my journals and my scrapbooks and like my planners. I like to keep everything chronologically. I just like from start to finish and just keep it all chronologically in an order. And I've realized as I've grown in my journaling practice that it is okay to jump around and move, and it's okay to come back to things later, even if it's a year later or a couple of months later. It's okay, especially in kind of journals like this that are about you. You know, these are all thoughts and realizations that I have about myself. And so it's okay to kind of jump over here. Yeah, it won't be for 2023, like this whole front half is all 2023. But if in 2024, I want to write about how I keep myself grounded, it's okay to just put it in here, you know, and then just to have both years living in this particular journal. And so that is my plan for my unraveling journal. I'm definitely going to take this in with me to 2024, and hopefully I can fill up the second signature, and it's just going to be a whole really pretty thick journal of just my own personal self-exploration and discovery. And yeah, I'm just like really excited about keeping this and keeping my word heart and just sort of fleshing that out a little bit more. And I feel like I didn't get to really explore my word because I was filming for my unfurling class, which is a course hopefully that I'm going to come out soon with. That's all about keeping an unraveling journal. So a lot of the stuff that I did in here, I have videos on for that course. And so it's different when you're doing something for yourself as opposed to when you're doing it for yourself, but also for like a course. I try to keep it genuine and true, but I think that's why still feel like there's more work to do with my word, if you know what I mean. So that's this, and that is why this is coming in with me to next year. And the other journal is this, of course, it's my Daybook of Dreams. It's a very chunky journal that I don't even know how long it's going to take me to fill up because it's so big, because I don't work in here all the time. Like this I did the other day. You know, I have things in here that are just tucked in here because I want them in there. But this is pretty much like a commonplace journal. It's a journal for inspiration, for dreams, for all the things. You can manifest some stuff, some things that inspire you, you want to keep. Again, the commonplace theme. It's basically a glorified commonplace journal. Um, I just I call it the Daybook of Dreams because it's a mixture of manifesting some of my dreams, um, a place to house inspiration against the commonplace idea, more manifestation, working through some hard feelings. Happiness was something that I wanted to bring more into my life. And so I have all these quotes and stuff from podcasts and things. So it's like a hodgepodge of that, of sort of like visualization, like a journal of vision boards, but also of inspiration and just quotes and photographs and clippings and things I want to collect. So it's a commonplace journal, but also one for, you know, vision boarding and stuff like that. And so I don't work in here often. You know, I work in here when I want to stick some stuff in, and I'll come in and stick some stuff wherever I feel is appropriate. And I'll do some journaling or I'll copy down a quote or something, but there's still a lot to work in here. So this is going to be a book that just comes in with me through every year. Like I think the first time I made this book, I mean, this is a repurposed art journal that I made ages ago, maybe in like 2018. So I've repurposed it multiple times, and right now it's just commonplace. It's my Daybook of Dreams, is what I call it. And I think some of these entries, I don't date any of them, but I think some of them are from 2021. And so I would say since 2021, I've kept it. And it's just come in with me every single year. And sometimes when I feel like doing a vision board or something in here, I'll do it in here. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do it in my unraveling journal. But this, you know, this is sort of an extension of that, of my unraveling journal. And so, of course, that is coming in with me along with this. And then this other journal, well, it's my planner. You've seen it before. I talked about it in the previous video, but this is my pocket Filofax. I love these little domino soft Filofaxes. I have two of them. I have this one in pink, and I would love like one in every color. I absolutely love this little planner, but it's a pocket planner that I use Passport TN size inserts in. So I think it's called Pocket Plus when you use a passport size, which is 3.5 by 5, instead of I think, let me see, I do have some in the back. Instead of the Filofax inserts, which are these little small ones, you can see the difference. This is from Coco Daisy. It's one of their Passport TNs that I just cut down in half and punched in here. You can see the difference. You get more real estate with the passport sized insert. And so I believe in the rings community, it's called Pocket Plus. It's Pocket Plus. Fits perfectly in here. I absolutely love it. And this is my planner. And I usually plan on a monthly. That is what I do. Plan on a monthly. These are some inserts that I made that are free to get in my shop. I'll link it down below. But yeah, I plan on a monthly, and then I have expenses. And then something that I decided to do new for pretty much November and December of this year was sort of like keep a daily log of stuff. And I have this going into the new year, these inserts. Now, I didn't make these. These are from a Muji, one of those, I think it's the full year blank Muji notebook. It's an A6 notebook and it comes with, I think, 12 months of blank monthlies. And then it goes into these weeklies that are a week on a page and then like a blank grid page on this side. And it's blank, meaning you can use it, you can start it whenever you want. I've had that in my shelf for a while. Muji always has this type of notebook. And I think one year I wanted to do that, but I don't like weeklies. I don't like this like this. If I'm gonna have like a weekly, I like a week on 2 pages. And I thought about getting a little sterling ink passport size and like cutting that and punching it into here. But I didn't want to pay for like another journal when I had this laying around and I knew I was never going to use it. And so my planning idea for this is it stems from what I was keeping this year. Let me actually go get it. So I was keeping this journal planner. This is a Florier Lab planner. It's a A6. It's not A6 size. It's more like a pocket size. It's shorter. It's a little smaller than A6. But how this works is that it's a monthly. So you go into the monthly, and then you go into your daily pages. And how I was using this was pretty much to just do a little bit of journaling each day. Some days I didn't do it, but just to have a little record of like kind of what I did each day. Again, some of them are not filled out, but yeah, just to have that so that when I have like my other projects, like again, like that memory planner or my little daily journals, like a December daily or something, I don't, sometimes, life happens and you can't just sit down and document for those days or for that week or whatever. And so I just have this on me all the time and I can just jot down what happened in that day. And so when I go back to work on those projects, I can reference this and see, hey, okay, this is what I did on the 7th of March. And then I have like a little blurb here and I can build off my scrapbooking page or, the page in my daily journal, whatever, from here. And I really, really love that. And so that's how I kept these daily pages for the whole year. And I kind of wanted to do this, like a similar thing for this year. But I was debating, I guess, I was trying to figure out how. Like I had full intention of buying another Flourier Lab journal. I love these little A6 ones, but I wish it was true A6. And since it wasn't, I was gonna buy a B6, the B6 version. Since the B6 is a true B6, because I got into journaling in a B6 in my Soulscape journal, and I'm like, oh, I mean, I've always loved B6 size, and I thought, yeah, I can do that, and use the monthlies in a different way because I am using this as my planner. So I switched from this to this like in September because I noticed that I was never taking this with me because it's a little too big. This I am fine with throwing this into my purse. Lately I've been using a Delphonics pouch as like my go-to, like if I need to run an errand or go outside sort of purse bag thing, and this fits in both the small, because I have the small and I have the medium size, and it fits in there and I can just take it with me. And I just love this size. I love the compact size to like take with me on the go. And that's the whole point of having a planner, is for it to be portable, at least for me, to take it with me on the go. This was staying home because it's kind of really thick and chunky, and I had it, right now I have it in a Foxy Fix TN cover, but I had it before in a Hobonichi cover. I don't know, something about the size of it is just a little too big to throw into a bag. This is like perfect. So this is a perfect little size, and that's why I switched to it. Plus I was missing my rings. I really love rings. I don't know, I like that. I don't know why I like rings. I have an affinity for rings and I really love them. But yeah, I only plan on a monthly, and so I just needed a monthly and like papers to write like lists and stuff. But I had this bright idea of seeing if I can do what I do in here in this smaller format. And so that is why I utilized that A6 Muji notebook. I trimmed it down so that they're pocket plus sized inserts, so the 3.5 by 5. And yeah, this the whole week is here. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Monday through Sunday. And it's just like a really small little space to journal. So what I do is I just jot down like just the major things that got done, and I use this either for overflow. I mean, this week I used it to just write down quotes. This I was doing. I'm in the process of purchasing an apartment, and so this was just doing math, more math. But yeah, so I've been using it for the month of December to see if that's something that I want to continue doing in the new year. And I did punch out, I ripped up the entire notebook, and the notebook had enough, it had enough weekly pages for, I think, 13 months, which is why I was able to use January just to try it out. And so I have them here for every week of every month. I only have up to May of next year in here, but I have the rest of it in the other file of facts that I own. Yeah, so far so good. I really love this. I like just being able to jot down a few things, and I just do it either at the end of the day or the middle of the day or however I'm feeling throughout the day, and just kind of write a little update in here. And this is good for, again, like I said, a jumping off point for either additional journaling or the additional documenting, like the more creative journaling, scrapbooking sort of documenting. But I still wanted to do this because there's more space here to journal. I know there's some days where I filled out the whole I'm trying to find an example of it, that I filled out the whole page with thoughts. There's one back here that I actually had to tip in. I had to tip in some paper because I had a lot to say on this day. And yeah, just some days have more journaling than others, but I like this. I liked keeping like a little daily journaling, and I kind of want to get back in. That was the other point. I kind of wanted to get back into daily journaling. I do some of it in here, but I will talk about this. And then I'll talk about what this is because this is a brand new journal that I'm going to try out for this year. But in summary, for this particular little planner, that's what I'm hoping it to be. It's my everyday carry. It's my planner. Again, I only plan on a monthly, so it is my one-stop planner for all the things. I keep track of my expenses, and then hopefully I will be using these weeklies to, again, keep track of appointments and stuff, but also just to go back in and sort of retrospectively journal just little things that happened on those days, just to keep a record. Now, I'm going to be journaling the same things in other places, but that's okay. The repetition. This one will be the one where I do it every day. So this will kind of be, what you call it? It'll be the reference, right? And then of course I can just take this with me, and I love it. The back I have some notes pages so that I can just jot down any little lists and stuff that I need. I just love this. I kept this planner in 2022, and I decided to change it up for 2023, and that's why I got the bound planner. But I realized that I missed this. I really missed this, and it works for me. And you know, I'm all about simplifying my life, and this works for me, so why change it up? I don't even know why. I wanted to try something different. You know, us planner people, we like to try different things, but this is what works. And so I'm sticking with this moving forward. This is how I'm going to be planning. Now, for the extension of that, I want a place where I can journal, and just journal without having to make it pretty, without basically doing my creative journaling that I do in these sort of little books. I mean, this is my December daily, but they all kind of the same. This is like a hodgepodge of art journaling, junk journaling, making lists, and straight up journaling. I love doing this, but a lot of times I don't have the time to sit down and play with paints and all of my supplies. Sometimes I can just journal, which is why that little journal that I kept in the Flourier lab worked out so well. And so I have two journals here. This one is my Soulscape journal. This one I started in 2023. I started it in just a planner that I had that I bought from Home Goods, that I kind of whited out the planner part of it and just used it as a straight up journal. But this is basically my I say that this is also an extension of my unraveling journal and that whole process, because I'm learning about myself in here as well. But this is the place where I do journaling based on the moon cycles. I do all of my, I guess, exploration with astrology in here. I do all of my manifestation law of attraction stuff in here. So every January, I participate in Gabby Bernstein's manifestation challenge. And so I do all of my entries in here. That's sort of what lives in this journal. Like, this is the second one of the journal series. I think I'll have like one or two booklets done every year, but this is where that journaling is. And this is just straight up journaling. I mean, I got a little creative and like on the cover and here, but I'll give you a peek into this one. I keep it like a bullet journal. So there's an index in the front. And what I'm thinking of doing, and I haven't done it yet in the first journal that I kept like this, is go in here and start highlighting anything that's notes. So I like to watch a lot of webinars, and I participate in a lot of Zoom calls, and like those info calls that a lot of people in this sort of like self-help kind of spiritual space give. Like, you can, depending on who you like to follow, I know Deborah Silverman always does some sort of Zoom call, and it's mostly to sell one of her new courses, but in those she does share nuggets of wisdom, nuggets of information about astrology and stuff. And so I like to keep my notes for those things in here. So I have a lot of Deborah Silverman here. Anytime that I take like a workshop that has to do with this, you know, whether it's law of attraction, or if it has to do with astrology or human design or anything in that sort of realm, and sort of like a personal growth, like an exploration of myself, I do those notes in here. Starting this past year, I think in the summer, in June, I went to a journaling workshop. It was like a meditative journaling workshop, and I did my journaling in my Soulscape journal. And so every time I go now to a new workshop, I always do that journaling in here. And so that's what this is, and that's solely what this is. And so I have an index here, and what I want to do is, for my old one, I want to go back and highlight wherever I took notes on like a workshop or an e-course or like a webinar, so that I can quickly reference back to those notes, because everything else is just journaling. And so that's my index. And then this is the vellum for August. And each month I start off with sort of like a forecast. And this is all heavily astrology based. I always put the theme for the month, and the theme for the month is based on my birth chart. And so that's for me. And then these dates here are just the, I don't want to say generic dates, but these are just the dates of all the transits for the different like moon phases, and like when Mercury goes into retrograde and things like that. And so, and then you come into a monthly that I draw out, and how I use the monthly is I track all of my webinars, I track all of my Zoom calls, I track all of sort of like the personal growth courses that I take. My one little word calls are in here. Like, I put anything that is a Zoom call or a webinar, and I put the time and what they are. So that's what these events are here. I believe some of these, what'd you call it? The tape represents something. So like, this tape represented the Deborah Silverman Discover Your Purpose video series. It was coming out that week. This is Deborah Silverman's Astrological Immersion. Came those days. I have Mercury retrograde begins, and then I highlight that. So that went all the way to the September calendar here and then it ends. So I keep things like that. The new moon and the full moon, I always mark them off here. And I've been using these stickers from Lace and Whimsy. These are old stickers. I don't think Kathy does not make them anymore, and I've been hoarding mine. And what I do is, like, I've already run out of full moon and new moon stickers. So the ones that are in the different phases, I either color them darks to use them as new moon or use an opaque white pencil to make them full moons. But the bigger ones indicate that it's a super moon. So this is a super full moon in Aquarius. This is just a regular new moon in Leo. And this is another super moon, full moon in Pisces. And so I mark those off. And then what I end up doing, I don't think I have any here, but what I end up doing is anytime, do I have anything here? Anytime, no, I don't have any here either. Usually if anything profound has happened to me, or if a manifestation came true, or things like that, I mark it in the calendar as well to say, oh, that's when this happened. Because I was kind of manifesting that or wanted some outcome, and this is what the outcome was related to that. I mark it on the calendar as well. And so that's how I use the calendar. And then after the calendar, I just go in with my journaling. So every full moon and every new moon, I journal. I do journaling. And I always address, I always get the theme of whatever that moon is. This is a general theme. It's not so much in relation to my signs or my personal chart, but I follow a lot of bloggers, a lot of astrologers, a lot of those, a lot of them on Instagram. They always put their forecast for whatever the thing is. I'm trying to remember off. Girl in Her Moon on Instagram is one. Sister Village, also on Instagram. Deborah Silverman always does a blog post for the new and full moons. I really like Rising, I think it's Rising Woman, that blog. The Magic of I has an amazing blog. They actually have an astrological planner that has all the dates and stuff, but their blog is very informative as well. So I have all these resources, and I just use Feedly to like capture all of that. And then every new moon, every full moon, every equinox, I just read what their forecast is. And then from there, I apply, especially the new and the full moons, apply it to my birth chart and then journal from there. And usually I start my journal, Dear Universe, and then I go in to everything that's on my heart, all the things. There are some days where I'm feeling super emotional, and so I'll come in here and write a Dear Universe entry, and a lot of the times it's not because of any new moon or full moon or anything like that. It's just I needed a place to come in and just speak in that way. Here's the new moon, again, the same. And I always, for these, I like to do little clusters. I've gotten more into the decorating as this went on, but I just do that for like the full and new moon. This are my entries and my notes for the Deborah Silverman astrological immersion. So she does her immersion twice a year. She usually does it in January, and then she does it in the summer. And it's usually just a precursor. It's a week-long series of live Zoom calls about astrology and how you can apply it to your own personal, development. And so Deborah Silverman, she's a psychotherapist and an astrologer, and she uses astrology as a way for people to learn more about themselves. So she uses it as a tool for her psychotherapy practice. And so each year she has 2 astrological immersions, one in the beginning of the year and then halfway through. And they're just ways for her to sell her course, her applied astrology course, where you can learn how to read your own birth chart, study your own birth chart, and then learn how to do readings for other people. I gained so much information just from doing her her astrological immersions. and then I learn a lot about myself because she gives you prompts and like homework for like you to take the theme of whatever that day was and like try to see it within yourself and like your chart and all these things. And so I keep all my notes and all my journaling in here. So this was more personal. These were my more personal entries. And then this was actual information. She did a whole lesson about the 12 houses and what they mean, and Saturn and Saturn and your life's purpose and Pluto and passion. But these were more for me. These are like applied to my chart specifically, but she goes off in general so that you can apply whatever is aligned with your chart, if that makes sense. So like I only jotted down here about Pluto being in the 9th house because I have Pluto in the 9th house, but she talks about all the other houses. So I keep notes in like that in here as well. Again, this is more full moon journaling, and I do that for every month. And then in the new month, I started using the free printable from Sterling Ink, the monthly, and I just print it off on vellum and I tip it in here. Again, my forecast, my calendar that I draw out, again with all the same information, not the same information, but these are all of my webinars and stuff like that. And like any journaling workshop that I go to in person, that's all in here. I have my Water Your Soul calls when I did that with Liz. And then this was, I guess I needed to journal on this day. And so I came in here and did a Dear Universe journal entry. This is a new moon entry. And then this was a webinar workshop with Sarah Wilder about the Priestess Architect. This was so interesting. It's in here. This one's like a mixture of astrology and human design and the archetypes. This was so interesting. And so I have my notes and stuff. I took screenshots of the slideshow that she presented, and just I have that all in here. It's just like all heavily information based. But that stuff goes in here. This was me journaling during the equinox, and then the full moon, and then we're in October. And then it just repeats, the forecast, the calendar, then the journaling for whatever. This is an example of doing a workshop, one of the journaling workshops that I go to. I do all of my entries in here and I mark it off. And then this is another full moon one. Some months I journal more than others in here, but it just repeats itself. So I'm just giving you all a look. This was a gratitude journaling workshop that I did in person. So I have all of my entries in here. And again, new moon journaling, another journaling workshop, full moon journaling, then December, forecast, calendar, and then more journaling. So that's pretty much how I use this journal, and I will continue to use it in that way because I just love this. This is December, I have to do my winter solstice journaling, and then there's a full moon coming up, so I gotta do that too in here, and then any other journaling to round out the year if I need to, and then it'll go into January, and I'll have my January calendar, and then that's when I start my Gabby Bernstein's Manifestation Challenge, and so I'll be doing that in here as well. And I feel like once I do that manifestation challenge, I will fill up this journal. And what I'm planning to do is, these are the B6 Muji notebooks, and I just covered mine in paper and washi tape down the spine. I have so many of these empty journals in my shelf. I'll just get a new one, cover it up, and then start again and just continue on with it. And I really loved this. I love this system. And so in here, I just have stickers I have a lot of Lace and Wendy stickers because Kathy's stickers are so cute and they're all mystical and they just fit the theme. I have some Planner Society stickers. This is when she did like this beautiful collection with the moon and everything like that. I have some rub-ons, and then back here, more Lace and Whimsy stickers, and then just other stickers that I like decorating with. I found these at Five Below. They're like moon phase stuff. So anything that that fits the theme, you know, fits the theme, fits the color scheme I use in here. And I don't decorate often. It's just usually just to indicate new moon and full moon stuff. So that's this one, and I have it in here. This is a Foxy Fix Perfect Fit, a B6 Perfect Fit cover. I bought this off of a lovely woman on Facebook that, yeah, it was just so perfect. Perfect. This is I love the spice leather. So all of my Foxy Fixes except one. My first ever Foxy Fix was a mystery sale and I got the Rowena leather, which is a beautiful leather. But my favorite leather is the spice leather. It's like a thinner leather and it's so smooth. And so this is the spice French lavender color. I have, you know, the spice sage, I have the spice paradise. This one that you saw, this is the Himalayan salt. I absolutely love this leather. I wish Foxy Fix didn't go out of business so that I can, like, now that I can afford to buy from Foxy Fix, they're out of business. So I usually find them on Facebook, but this was perfect. It had the embossed star in silver, and it was just perfect for this kind of journal. And so that's this one. I know I kind of went a long spiel about this journal, but this practice, I started this year and I love it so much that I just can't wait to continue doing it for next year. So that's this one. This journal is completely different than this, but I still don't know what I want to use this for. I have thoughts, I have ideas. So this is a B6 journal. It's a B6 journal. It is actually a paper test designs planner, B6 planner. Yeah, this is the yearly notebook. Again, I was toying with buying the B6 Florer Lab planner for this purpose, but once I saw this, I remember Kaylee talking about this planner like earlier this year because she compared this one with the Sterling Ink Common Planner, and I just really like the layout of this one. And since they fixed the monthly, because the monthly didn't take up the whole like kind of page like it does here. Since they fixed this, I was like, oh my God, I'm sold. So how this one works is that you get a monthly and then you get a blank page and then you get your week, you know, on this little column, and then you get 7 blank pages for all the days of that week, right? And then it goes into the next week, and then again, the 7 blank pages. I believe the 7 blank pages is for you to use it daily if you want to journal daily or just use dailies, and then that little week, and then the dailies. I like the blank pages. Honestly, my ideal notebook would be one that is, you have the monthly and then you have 31 blank pages. That would be my ideal journal. But I don't think there's any place that has that. And so this was like the second best, I guess you would say, option. And so my initial idea for this was to keep this as sort of a long form journal. So I would use the monthlies to document everything that has happened. And then I would use the pages to do journaling for each day. And so here I would basically use this kind of like how I'm keeping this. I would just write like all the things that happened in the week, exactly like this, and then do this bit of journaling on the daily pages. That was my initial thought when I purchased this planner journal. I don't know what you want to call this. It's a planner, it's a journal, however. That was my initial like idea for it. And then I thought about doing my Soulscape stuff. So like doing this calendar, like using the calendar in here to document all of this stuff, and then doing any journaling like this in here. The only trick with that is I have these weeklies and I really wouldn't know what to do with these weeklies unless I just repeat what I have going on in here on the weeklies, but pretty much using this in replace of this. My only concern is that I may run out of pages in the month, because this is so loose and free form, you know, like I don't have one page for, you know, Deborah Silverman's notes, right? Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. I don't have one page for like my full moon writing, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's where this works better. And so I was thinking about that. I have no idea what I'm going to use this planner for. I have not a clue. I'm thinking, honestly, I'm thinking of tracking all of my events, all of my webinars, like basically everything that I would track in here. Maybe not so much appointments. I don't think I would do appointments, but I think because I track appointments, I track when my credit cards are due, et cetera, et cetera. I think what I would keep track of in here are things like when I go to the journaling workshop, or when I go out to dinner with my friends, or when I go to an event, you know, track that in here, and then also track, you know, when I have Deborah Silverman webinar, or when I have my one little word call, or that sort of thing in here. So like basically using this to track events, not so much appointments, not so much bills and stuff like that. That will be done in here, but just basically to track events. And then I'll use like these pages to do long form journaling, whereas this is more, you know, little snippets of what happened, like just a little key points of what happened each day. I can do the longer form journaling in here. And so that's sort of kind of where I'm leaning towards doing with this planner. But it's a beautiful planner, and it has Tomoe River paper, so I can use my fountain pens in here. And so that's why I had this Twisby in here, because my Fleurir Lab is also Tomoe River paper. It's just like a cream version. It's a little thicker than this one though. I don't remember the GSM, but this is where I would use my fountain pens, and and it's like the only place I would use my fountain pens. I don't really have other journals where I can use my fountain pens. This paper is the Muji paper. Actually, this is fountain pen, and it actually looks really good. So I'm not sure if this is the high quality Muji paper, because I know the new high quality Muji paper, you can use your fountain pens. They're fountain pen friendly, but for the most part, I just use a regular pen for this because I print my inserts out on 32-pound paper, and it's not really fountain pen friendly. Honestly, this is one of the high quality Muji notebooks. So I could, in theory, use my fountain pens in this, but I also just use a regular, actually funny enough, so I have these two pens. One is a Planner Society pen, and the other one is a Kiki K pen. And what I have in here are the Muji 0.38 refills in black. So I buy on their website. On their website, I buy their refills for the 3.8 millimeter black pens. And these refills fit into these two pens. And these are the only pens that I own that those refills fit in. I absolutely love the Muji pens, the gel pens, the 0.38 millimeter black Muji gel pens. You know, the ones with the snap cap. I'm pretty sure I have some here. Let me see if I can find one so I can show you. It's basically this pen. I mean, this is the green one, but it's these pens, and I love them in black. And once I discovered that these two pens, these metal pens, can fit the refills, I just buy the refills and I refill these two pens. And I love writing with them. And so one stays in my planner, and then the other one lives in my Soulscape journal. This notebook for right now has a fountain pen because this is fountain pen friendly paper, and so I can do that with. But this is also Tomoe River paper, and so I have this Twisby. I think this is the Persian green color. So the other one was the mint green. This is the Persian green, and it has sailor ink in it. So actually, I have swatches in here. I know I'm getting out of topic here, but I just kind of want to share. Where did I put my swatches? Here you go. So these are all the inks that I own, like full bottles of. I own a lot of the diamine inks, and these are like the darker inks. This is like my favorite, the Earl Grey. But I did buy one day when I went to Yoseka with my friend for her birthday. I did end up buying the Sailor Manual Koke ink, and it's this lovely bottle right here. And this is it in my TWSBI Echo, the mint one, because that's a medium nib. And this is it in this pen, which is an extra fine nib. And that color is just, it's beautiful. I think this was September of this year, I ended up buying a couple of samples, ink samples from Goulet pens, because I wanted to try a lot of the Sailor Mano inks. And so I ended up buying a sample of this one, Hinoki, Nico Gamagi, I think that's the Fuji, and the Sailor Shikiori Yozakura. I have this pen. I have the Sailor pen, and then this is the ink to match, so I kind of just wanted to see it. I love all these inks. I will be purchasing all of these inks when I go to Japan in April because I want them. But this pen is filled with the Koke ink, and then this pen is actually filled with the Diamine Caledon Cat ink. And I wanted to see this ink compared to this ink because they kind of look similar, even though they're a little different. This one is a bit more green. I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but it's a little bit more on the green side, where this is more on the blue side. And then this one has this beautiful shading. Like, if you can see the shading, it has like a purple-ish undertone. It's a beautiful ink. I love both of these inks, but the sample was big enough. Like, it was like filled enough to fill one piston. I've used this quite a bit, so it's not quite full, but when I put the whole ink sample in here, it filled up the whole piston. And so I have the Diamine ink in here, and then once I'm through with that, I'm gonna put this ink, the sample of that ink in here. And I really want a white TWSBI in a fine nib so that I can put this ink in there. And then I'm going to get this for my Yozakura Sailor pen because it's the ink that matches. I think right now, I don't have it inked, but I normally ink it with the Tyrian Purple by Diamine. Anyway, I just wanted to share. That was my journey with my inks, but yes. So this one lives in here for now, and this one lives in here, and that is the purpose of this. So right now, I don't actually have it set up yet. If you've never seen a paper test, it opens up like this, right? And then you have this notebook belongs to, and then down here it says B6 Full Year Edition 2024 by Paper Test Designs. And then it goes into 2 blank pages. I thought about maybe using this as a index, but like I don't know what I'm going to be keeping in here. Part of me wants to use it like a commonplace book to jot down passages and thoughts and quotes and stuff, and then having the index being here to reference that. I don't really know. But it's 2 blank pages, and then we go into the yearly overview. You have the months, the calendar for each month, and then it's like a blank space here. I know the Common Planner by Sterling Ink has something similar, and people use it to like track. I'm not very good with trackers, so what I was thinking of doing here is printing out a 2x2 photograph at the end of each month that sort of represents the month, or a selfie of myself that represents me in that month, and just putting them here. And I feel like that's a really cute memory keeping thing that I can do in here. And so I think that's what I'm going to be doing, is doing the pictures for each month. And then it goes to this, I guess, the quarterly. Maybe this is what people use to track as a tracker. Like, you can put what you're going to track and then highlight the things. I don't know. I know some people in the who use the Hobonichi use this as an index. I have no idea what I'm going to use this for, to be quite honest. This I know for a fact what I'm going to use it for. This I have no idea. But it's here. And then we have 2 more blank pages. I love how there's just blank pages. I love it. And then it goes into December, which I'm not utilizing because we're in late December right now and I just don't need this for anything. So there's that. And then 2 blank pages before you get into the next monthly. And so what I've done here is I printed off the Sterling ink freebie for January, which is beautiful. Look how gorgeous that is. I printed it off on vellum and I tipped it in here. And so what I'm thinking of doing is doing my January forecast exactly like I have in my Soulscape journal here, because I would love to see that. And then doing them monthly exactly like I have it in here. And then this is a blank page, so I don't know what I'm going to use this for. Maybe I'll just go in straight and start journaling in here. But then I also have these weeks. I don't know what I'm going to use these weeks for. Part of me was like, you can just cover up this whole page and just use it straight like journaling, because that's completely fine. Just get grid paper and just cover all of this and then just straight journal. It's only for that one spot, every week. Or again, jotting down things that happened that week or important. I don't know. I really don't know what I'm going to use that for, but I'm planning to use these pages to journal in. And so each month is the same. So we go to February, right? We have, and then it goes into the month. Then you have that blank spread before you go into your weeks. And then in the back, we go all the way to the back after December ends. You do get January's of 2025's calendar, and then you just get like index paper. And all of these are numbered, which is unfortunate because I would prefer the whole planner to be numbered and not just the pages in the back. And so there are 27 numbered pages, and these just blank pages, just blank. So again, I can utilize this for journaling. And so I think what I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to try to see how this will work out, kind of being a replacement for this, or maybe not a replacement, but like a companion. Whereas this one, I do journaling for my workshops and webinars and the new moon, full moon. I will do all the other journaling in here. I don't know. Maybe I can keep this as a commonplace. Again, I have no idea. I'm just gonna, I don't know. I'm gonna experiment with it and see, because I did buy it, right? I'm gonna experiment and see, but right now I haven't set this up yet. I think in the beginning here, if I don't use this as an index, or maybe I can use this spread. I'll probably use this spread and put like my goals and my intentions here, or maybe like a vision board of some sort. Actually, I'll put my goals and intentions here and then cover this up, because this will be my vision board. And then we go into January, and then of course the forecast, and then all of this, and then I use this for journaling. I think that's what I'm gonna do. But right now I don't have it set up yet, but it lives here in this cover, this leather cover that I made. I found this leather. It's like it's the closest leather that I can find on the internet that is like the spice leather from Foxy Fix. It's not as, like, this one's smooth. This one feels more waxy than this one, but this one's really smooth, and like the gradation of the leather is sort of the same. And I think this one just has a lot of, you can see it patinaing, I think, on the spine a little bit, because I did make this the beginning of the year to house this originally. I did make mine with pockets, so we have this big pocket, this one, and then this one in the back, and I have dots here for common placing. I have rub-ons here, because I think for these journals, since they're so thick to begin with, using rub-ons or really thin washi stickers like this are a better option than the thicker materials, only because it'll just chunk up a lot. And so I have those here, and these are MU rub-ons, and then these stickers, like all of these stickers, are from Daiso. And so I'm going to use those if I do any commonplacing. Honestly, I think I'm going to keep this like a regular everyday journal commonplace book. I think that's probably what I'm going to keep it for. Gonna do some goal setting and vision boarding in here as well. And again, keep my forecast and stuff in here, and like the calendar will be synced with this one and this one, but I think it's going to be more of a personal diary commonplace type of journal. Anyway, I went on a long spiel talking about these two journals in particular, and I think because this is really new and this is sort of new and I'm sort of kind of refined what I'm using it for. And so that's these two journals. And so pretty much for next year, these are these are my main three. These are going to be my main three journals that I'm keeping. My everyday carry planner in this pocket domino soft cover, my B6 Perfect Fit Foxy Fix cover. This is my Soulscape journal with the little Muji notebook. Then this is my handmade journal cover with the B6 Paper Test Designs planner. So I'm going to Soulscape everyday carry. This will be like my everyday journal commonplace book. And then the more creative journals that I'm keeping are, of course, my unraveling journal. Love this journal. My Daybook of Dreams, which is basically all vision boards and inspiration, and another commonplacey but more visual. So these are my visual journals. These are like more written journals, and then of course my planner. So those, I'm starting off with five. And then of course I will be working in this memory scrapbook because I didn't do it this year. And so I'll be working into that, but that's not going to be like an official journal that I'm using. These are the three. This one, I don't work in it every day. It's more of an every so often. This one's usually very monthly. This one is more the most frequent. I mean, this one I use every day, but this one's very frequent. Definitely the two new moon, some months have 3 moon cycles. Well, 3 moon, like 2 full moons and 1 new moon, etc. That journaling, and then all of that stuff that I'm into now. And then I feel like I'll be working mostly in this one and this one daily. And then this one will be like weekly, bi-weekly maybe, and this one's monthly, and then this is every so often. And so that's what I got. That is what I got to start off 2024 with. I have a feeling that throughout the year I will end up making little journals like this, because this is kind of when I feel more creative and crafty. I will make a journal and I will use it sort of like a hodgepodge memory journal and art journal and things like that. There are some art things that I would love to do in the new year. I really would love to start keeping a sketchbook, because I would love to learn how to sketch some florals. And I already have a sketchbook that I made. It's just I've never used it for anything. So that might happen. I might work in my virtual voyage journal. So like this is my Burtonville October daily one. I might come back into this in October. I don't know. I did create an art journal this year that I never used, and I have like the supplies and stuff that I wanted to work in, but this will be like an art journal. And I'm hoping to use this in 2024 since I made it. I made it and I painstakingly made this cover out of fabric, and I slow stitch everything. So this is not machine stitched at all. All these pieces are sewn down by hand. And I made it in a 6x6 size. Normally I make them like this in an A6 size, but I decided, I want to try out 6x6. like a 6x6 canvas here, but I made this like a junk journal. Like there's just pages and random sized pages and stuff, but I really would love to use this as an art journal. And so hopefully maybe that's a journal that I work in next year, but I don't know. But what I do know is that I have a tendency of gathering the journals that I'm going to be using and then adding to it throughout the year. And so I wouldn't be surprised if a few more of these are added to my collection, because these are always fun little journals, or any other artsy type of journal, because I don't have any artsy journals here. I do have my creative journals, which are here, and then these are more practical, like journaling or planning, but I don't have the art journals, because the art journals, I make it like in the moment, like when I want to art journal, when I want to keep a journal, I make the journal there. And so, yeah, this is a very long video. Thank you so much for sitting through all of it and hearing me ramble and talk again about my journals. I know I kind of repeated myself from the previous video, which were the journals that I used in 2023. Honestly, I should have just merged the two videos, but hey, you have two videos for me. And I did go a bit more in depth into this journal and this journal on what I'm going to use that one for. So I really hope that was insightful. If it inspired you in any way, yeah, I just really hope you enjoy a look at what I'm planning to use for next year. And yeah, just let me know, like, what systems are you using? I love watching videos of people talking about what they're going to be using for the new year. I love those videos. Or like what is it called? The Techo Kagi? I don't even know what it's called. When like the mid-year review videos of people reviewing like how their systems are working for them. Love those videos as well. I just love seeing what people are using, because I get ideas from them. But yeah, that was this is my little stack of journals that I will be starting the new year off with. I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to stop talking now. I really hope you're all well, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, friends.